welcome back to Daydream Believers with Elle and Elle. Elle, how are you?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, my friend.
I've been casually very well. I don't know what
Casually
else.
very well?
I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I say.
Damn, you need to find your sea legs again.
Yeah, seed legs.
Sea legs. Land legs? Sea legs. Like when you're going on a ship and like a pirate ship and you find your sea legs again so you're not getting sick, I suppose.
What?
I don't know if it's real. I think I made it up.
Yeah, I've never heard that in my life.
No, I've definitely heard it before. I feel like it's real. Give me a second. I will search this. Finding your sea legs. Man, we are 2 minutes in and I'm already Googling. Finding your sea legs means to adjust to the motion of a boat or ship and be able to walk steadily on it.
So I need to find my groove, essentially.
It's basically meaning finding your groove. The ability to adjust to a new situation or difficult conditions. Ooh. And this is as difficult as it gets.
Asking how I am.
No, podcasting.
Yes. Well, I'm pretty chill. How you going?
Not too bad. I'm very hot.
Yeah, it's freaking boiling. I've kind of been loving this heat wave we've been in Melbourne lately, though.
I'm not loving it. That's one thing I love about Melbourne. It's the cool changes, baby.
Yeah, it's definitely coming, the cool change. I think.
Where's my 21 degrees? Huh?
I think it's coming in the next couple of days. Don't give it to me, though.
Tomorrow's 35 and the following day's 38.
Yeah,
Don't give me this.
I think the weekend.
I
think the weekend.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
No.
That's what I've always loved about Melbourne. I love hot days, but I love that Melbourne chucks in a more mild day in between it, and then it's hot again. It gives you a break.
Would you consider it mild, though? Because it never feels mild.
What do you mean?
Like, the other week, we had a full heat wave and then a thunderstorm.
That's not what I mean, though. That wasn't a cool change, though. It was still warm.
Good point. Nah.
Normally, we have, like... It's such a pattern that Melbourne has. It's a 40-degree day or 35 or above, and then by the time it gets to, like, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, or in the evening, I should say, there's a cool change. You can open your windows, your house gets the breeze, and it's wonderful, and you feel great, and you can actually sleep. And then the next day, it's like a nice crisp, like 22, 23, it's a break. And then the next day, it climbs up to like 28 again, 29.
Yeah, there is a little break in between, yeah.
It's so good. It's what I've loved about Melbourne. And I've learned to appreciate it since I went to Europe.
Oh, yeah,
and it was 40 degrees every fucking day.
See, I like it there. I think I like the heat every day, provided I'm in a house. Not that much heat. I think being in specifically Australia heat, I struggle with every single day. Back to back.
Yeah, I don't struggle with it here because we actually have proper air conditioning.
Where I do not. I have air conditioning downstairs in my double brick house, but upstairs is not.
Yes, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Relying on a ceiling fan sucks.
I found that in Europe, there wasn't proper air conditioning anywhere.
I know. When you walk like on the streets and then you're like met with a bit of water hitting you and you realize look up and it's just some air conditioner that's dropping drops on you. Happens to me
you go inside and it's still hot. Like it sucked. Whereas when I went to America, right, it'd be hot. Yes, very hot indeed. But you walk inside a shop or a hotel and it's fucking freezing.
Yeah, that's like Japan and Singapore, Hong Kong, they're all the same. You're just like freezing when you enter any
but it
place.
makes you crave the heat again to go outside.
Yeah.
It works. I think it works much better.
But then I actually work with this woman that's just traveled from Dubai, coincidentally. We were literally talking about it like 2 days ago.
Oh. And
she was saying that like, it's so difficult, like it's almost so hot outside that you, like obviously it's a different type of heat altogether.
Yeah, that's
But like you never even get to experience the enjoyment of the heat because you're like constantly indoors the whole time. So it's like an indoor city because of the air conditioning is like, it's impossible to go outside.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's like 50 degrees there.
It's wild.
That is wild.
Desert.
In the desert.
Horse with no name.
Come on, tell me you didn't miss this. The peak of entertainment.
It really is. Talking about the weather, singing Horse with No Name.
The weather. We can't think of anything else to talk about.
Yeah, honestly, I can't think of a thing. My brain every time.
Podcast.
I know, but every time it doesn't feel that long. And now I'm sitting in the chair. It doesn't feel like that long ago. But every time I sit in this damn thumb chair, it's like my my freaking brain just goes like I've got nothing. It just disappears. Got
just
nothing.
a monkey going like this.
Not even. It's just like, how can I explain, like a cloud, and it's just going like quite literally the sound. Do you know what I watched last night?
Tell me.
Priscilla, the movie.
Priscilla.
It's Priscilla.
That's what I say it in the movie. Priscilla.
That's
one with Emma Stone, correct? What?
You're thinking of Cruella.
Damn it! Cruella, you're right.
Cruella. That's what I was like. They don't say Priscilla like that. And I was like, I swear they don't say it like that. And then when you said Emma Stone, I was like, oh. Speaking of the Dalmatians.
Come on, Cruella, Priscilla. How are we meant to keep up with this? Come on.
Well, look, Cruella, I did like that movie quite a bit.
Good,
I think she did a
Can you
job.
agree that that's how they said Cruella?
Cruella.
That's all I need to know. Good night,
Priscilla.
folks. I'm done. Okay.
But yes, Priscilla,
Yes.
not Queen of the Desert, but Priscilla, Elvis's companion.
Oh, yeah.
It was the movie of her with, I don't know what the lady's name is, but Jacob Elordi is Elvis in the movie. Have you watched it?
No, I have not.
I had wanted to watch it, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch it like last night. I didn't mind it. I did not mind it. But I think because I'm such an Elvis fan,
Yeah.
I found it like
how dare you?
Yeah, not even, they didn't do it dirty. And you and me Elle and I have actually gone to a night with Priscilla Presley event. So
True.
the storyline sounded very similar to what she had told us to some extent.
Man, I wish I remembered anything.
Really?
I remember glimpses, but I don't remember anything she said.
Yeah, like she basically was at like, I thought she told us she was like in a library or something, but she was in like a diner of sorts in the movie.
Yeah.
And then this, like other people, like, so she's in Germany. She's gone there for her dad's work.
Yes,
and Elvis
I
is
remember
there at the
that.
same
I
time.
remember that. Yep.
And then
the diner. I remember the diner.
An older couple come up to her and they're like, look, we're friends with Elvis. You want to come to a Elvis Presley thing? Like, it's like, I know you're like by yourself here. There's not many Americans here. Like, come, there'll be a lot of Americans that you can hang out, blah, blah, blah. So that part kind of lined up. That showed that in the movie as well. And so she went with her parents' approval to go to Elvis's house. He played the piano, yada, yada. But in the movie, I just felt like the movie was very rushed. Like, it went quickly. For a movie titled Priscilla, I don't feel like it went through her, like, character that much. It didn't come from her perspective or show me much depth of her, really, in comparison to what I think they could have done. It just felt sort of like a storyline of how two people's relationship went on, kind of rushed.
Right.
And didn't show like the depths of their love, or like because when she spoke to us, you could tell she was like very much in love with him at the time.
Yeah.
And it felt like a true love story.
Right.
Where like this kind of portrayed it. I found myself every couple of like maybe every 10-15 minutes being like, oh. And maybe it's the timing where like maybe it's just the PC of life now where I'm kind of looking at things from like a grooming perspective and looking at things from that, but like I didn't want to look at it from that perspective because I know what her story was.
That's what I found this movie interesting, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
let's keep that in mind. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I haven't seen it, but I have heard about it, and I feel like from what I've heard, it paints their relationship in a not so, I guess this is what you're saying, in a not so romantic light. But having to hear what she said about the relationship with face value, and also interviews, it doesn't correlate to me.
Yeah, like
makes no sense.
The facts, like the small little facts here or there added up to what she said, and they were like, oh, yep, cool. But then the passion and the I don't know, what she showed us in that setting. Yeah. That the feeling she felt, that's what I wish it went into more of how she felt towards Elvis, at least. Like maybe we can't get confirmation of how he felt towards her, but at least if we got a little bit more depth of how she felt, because the way she talks about him in interviews and in that dinner with like that night with Priscilla Presley that we went to, it was so much more there was so much more depth to it than what I think the movie portrayed.
Yeah, I agree. And I remember thinking while we were there, though I may not remember word for word what she said, but I remember feeling at the time, how gorgeous. You know, like I remember thinking, she really cared about him and he really cared about her. Like that's how I remember walking out feeling. Like, yes, it definitely was not a perfect relationship. Often when one spouse is very famous, infidelity is quite common.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, not a perfect relationship, but I felt like from what I've heard about the movie versus what I've always thought about their relationship based on those experiences, it just didn't make sense. So then my question was, why is this movie being made then?
I thought the same thing because that's actually what I thought while I was watching it. I'm like, I feel like we could have gone without this movie.
Yeah.
I think like those facts are all out there and it's the age gap is known. The fact that like there was infidelity on both ends at one point was known. Like I think I just found it kind of being like, oh, yep, fact check, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, that correlates to this. And then there was no real point other than like just seeing history from a visual perspective. And I guess that like it's nice and I enjoyed it and the acting was fine. Like I like that. I like Jacob Elordi as an actor anyway. But I just found myself like 3/4 of the way through the movie kind of checking how long I had left. And I was like, meh. I'm not like, and that's me being a pretty big Elvis fan. So I was like,
yeah, I mean, I felt no need to go and see this because literally a year or two beforehand we had this pretty epic biopic of Elvis.
Yeah.
Why do I need to go see it again? And it painted in a slightly different light.
Yeah, it was more like, it wasn't even from anyone's viewpoint really. Like it was kind of the same storyline, but like from the other end, like from the times that they were like in their home together.
Yeah.
Or from her perspective of when, but even then it didn't show her perspective. I don't know. Actually, I was going to say watch it and let me know, but I actually genuinely don't think there's a point you need to watch it.
Right.
It wasn't that astounding.
Well, that makes sense to how I felt about it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I guess my instincts about it was somewhat right because I felt like there was no point in watching it based on the trailer.
Yeah.
And based off the fact that I just watched an Elvis movie. And biopics, yet I know you're saying that's not like a specific biopic. I mean, it is called Priscilla though.
Yeah.
Biopics, hit and a miss for me. Hit and a miss. I get over them.
Yeah, I feel like there's something I can watch once or twice when they first come out if I like it, and then I don't really go back to them again.
No, it's not something I'll ever rewatch. There are certain ones that I would watch again, but they're very certain, and then none of them are modern.
Have you watched the new Bob Dylan one?
No.
I watched that the other week. But I also really like Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
But I think he did a fantastic job. I was very happy with it. Would I go watch it again? Biopic, maybe not. You know what? I would go watch it again if you wanted to go watch it.
Right.
But I really liked the movie.
Yeah.
I think it was top tier. But again, I agree with you that because it's a biopic, I'm like, do I want to watch it again? But if I was to rewatch one of them, I probably would rewatch that one.
And I find if a biopic becomes very popular, I tend to get over the music.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, it happened to me with Queen. Big time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to Queen yet because of that biopic.
Man, it was a while ago.
That
was like pre-COVID? Yeah, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Damn. I still can't listen to Queen. It was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much everywhere. Queen this, Queen that, Queen this, Queen that. And I freaking loved Queen beforehand.
Yeah.
I still love them. Don't get me wrong. They're still amazing. I know that.
Yeah.
But damn, I can't listen to their music without going back to the biopic.
I know what you're saying, yeah. See, that's one thing, I think because I listen to Bob Dylan, but I'm not like super fan of Bob Dylan. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much because it's like I got to learn about someone new.
Yeah.
Even though I know about him, I got to like hear his songs in a different way. And I really enjoyed it. Plus, if you remember our interview with Stephen Tobolowsky, he chose, I believe it was Blowing in the Wind as his song. And so I obviously have been listening to that song since that episode more so. And then watching it and seeing, I didn't realize I knew it was an impactful song, but I didn't realize like how big of an impact that song was. and seeing it through the biopic, I was like, whoa, that's insane. Like, I don't know, even just understanding him, I would have never, obviously it sounds pretty ignorant of me, but I've never considered him like a folk singer.
Right.
And that's like the category he began in. And like he like, it's like a whole, it was worth watching. That one I would definitely watch. Priscilla, Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah, I think I'll wait for it to come on streaming.
Yeah, probably soon. Things come on streaming so quick lately.
I know, and that's really sad.
I think so too.
Gone are the theatre days.
Yes, the theatre.
You know, where movies are in the cinemas for months and months.
Oh, yeah.
You know, My Big Fat Greek Wedding has one of the longest, like, runs in a theatre.
Really? I can't believe that.
Months and months and months it was in theatres.
I actually believe that because I swear every time I think about watching, I can picture myself in the theatre. I feel like I watched it with a group from Greek school back then too.
Yeah.
In the movies,
because
but also mum and
back
dad.
then when a movie was quite popular, they would extend the run in the theatre.
Good point, because it's not like you went to streaming services. You either had to, then you had to go to Video Easy to rent it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Blockbuster. Yeah. Or you had to buy it.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
But they would extend it.
That's cool.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The studio is going to make more money.
I also find now that, like, with streaming services, once I've watched something once, it's one and done most of the time.
Really?
Where I feel like maybe it's because of the age I was at back then as well, but, like, if I watch something at the movies, it's like I couldn't wait to then grab it on DVD and then rewatch it.
I guess it's the we have too much access to too many movies, and it's really hard to make a decision on what the hell you're going to watch. I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah, good point, because when you're limited and you're at your year's house and there's only like 5 DVDs, you're like, I'll rewatch this one.
I'm going to rewatch this. And it ends up being like Joe Somebody. Like this random Tim Allen movie. And you're like, fuck, I love this movie.
Exactly, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mate. Always is the Tim Allen movies. I was just thinking, I'm like, I swear the Santa.
I love Tim Allen. I'm sorry to say. I love him. I love his movies and his voice. I mean, like, I'm sure Buzz Lightyear has something to do with it. And the fact that he is Santa Claus, he's my Santa.
He's definitely my Santa.
But I love him. Even those random ass movies that he makes, you know, like Joe Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Or Wild Hogs.
Wild Hogs is a great movie. I stand by that.
And they're making a sequel. Did you know that?
To Wild Hogs?
Yes, they're making a sequel to that. Did you know?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Stop. That's so exciting. Mm-hmm. You know, I saw today that Sarah Michelle Gellar, I think that's her name, yeah. That she announced that they're like in the works for a new Buffy. Yeah,
I actually saw that today. She was saying like, I would only come back to do Buffy if it's like the perfect storyline.
Yeah.
And it's on the way there.
Yeah,
she said.
Is sick.
So I don't know if it's 1,000% confirmed
but
that
close enough.
She's coming,
it's in
but
the
it's
talks.
coming. And you know who else is coming back? Scrubs.
What?
Yeah.
Stop that.
You heard it
did you see Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah, I saw that. People are running out of ideas, so we're just going back to the old shows.
Well, because they were great. Like, honestly, they were
but
great.
they're never the same.
Oh, the second seasons are never the same. No.
No.
You know what was... it wasn't a great second try at something.
You talking about Will and Grace?
Will and Grace was still good. But
it was what?
It was still good.
Really?
It was still not grand. Nothing like it was, but out of redoing something, it was
okay.
better than a lot of others.
Yeah.
But How I Met Your Mother, the How I Met Your Father.
Oh.
With why do I always call her Lizzie McGuire? But with Hilary Duff.
Yes.
At first, I was like, damn, I can't get into this. But then after a while, just before I got axed, I started to get really freaking into it.
Right. And then they axed.
But sometimes you got to leave space.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are just recycling through stuff.
People love nostalgia. That's just who we are as a people now.
As a people.
Yep. And they're just going to recirculate old content now, which is fine.
I ain't mad at it.
But it just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel the same. Because I'm not a kid watching it.
Yeah, and...
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying as well, and I also feel like just the way things are filmed changes slightly. It's just like the way it looks slightly changes, and then you're like, nah,
too much.
And
you know what it is? Too much budget.
Yeah, too much budget. Yes.
Yes, that's what a lot of these remakes. That's the problem. I reckon too much budget.
Go back to having not enough.
That's what I reckon. Too much budget.
Too much.
Yes, you've heard it here first. That's how you fix the movies.
Lessen the budget. Make it crappy. Seriously, crappy quality. I'm all for it.
Matt, low budget comedies like in the 90s and 2000s are the best comedies. Come on. Like, I'm waiting to see what Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be like.
Is that, like, it's actually happening, yes?
Yeah, the trailer, like, there's, like, teaser trailer.
I thought they were fake. Every time I see
it's real.
after that freaking Little Nicky thing the other week, I think that every, like, second version of everything is fake now.
No. The Happy Gilmore 2 is actually real.
Sick.
I actually just saw a reel on Instagram the other day of Shooter McGavin running, but it's him now running and trying to put his jacket on. I believe that belongs to Mr. Gilmore.
Excellent. I can't wait to watch. I get excited for that stuff because I guess it's like, it kind of proves that we did live in the best time.
No doubt. Look at your wall, Elle. There's no doubt about that.
I know.
Goodness.
Glorious stuff.
Although, there's one update that I want to share. Speaking of shows and stuff, I have now become very obsessed with Korean dramas.
Yay! I know, I've been trying to get her into like Chinese and Korean dramas for at least like 2 years now.
It had to happen organically, I think.
Yeah, I think
it has
so.
to happen
Everything
organically.
does.
It has to happen. You have to find your way there. Your path needs to lead you there. And my path led me there, and I ain't going anywhere.
Have you finished? So which one were you? I was about to say Empire Strikes Back, but it's something else. Not the same thing. What was it called?
The Empress Key.
Empress Key. Nice.
Man, yeah. I was,
Have you finished it?
Yeah.
You finished it, Elle. It's been like 2 weeks. Wait, has it? No, longer.
No.
Where have I been?
It's been a while since I started watching it. This is very usual behavior for me, but when I finish a show, I haven't had enough of it, so I tend to start watching it again until I get sick of it.
Ah, yes. So you started again?
So I started it again. And now I'm on like episode 12. So I've spent another 12 hours.
Yeah, because you got to rewatch this in case you just miss little things, you know?
Yeah, it's not just that. It's like I can't let go of shows when they're over. I can't let go of the people. So I always have to watch like the first half of the show again. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I see that.
It's really annoying.
I think I did that with Ashes of Love when I first watched it too, which is my Chinese drama. So good. But how did it go? Actually, I guess if anyone watches it, we don't want spoilers, but
I mean, like it is like 12 years old, the show, but it is on Netflix. If you want Korean dramas to be in your path, this may be your way of organically getting you there. Because hell yeah, it's good. Yeah. Hell yeah. The innocence of this show was amazing.
Oh, the kisses, like the...
Yeah, so I am... Oh, my God.
They just get so close, but, like, never touch.
So what I absolutely loved about this was, like, the love triangle of it. Will she get with the king or will she get with the emperor? It's wonderful, right? It's like hoo-ha, hoo-ha. And... was it a satisfying ending? Did she end up with the person that I wanted her to end up with? No. She did not. She did not. It makes me very sad.
But I think that's what makes for good TV sometimes.
I think so. But would I have loved the show 5% more if she did end up with the guy that I wanted her to end up with? Yes. Yes! But no, she did not.
Did it make sense at least?
It made so much sense, and I knew it was coming. Because... what's the point of the show then? It's called The Empress Key. She's obviously going to get with the emperor.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, Empress. Yeah, good point.
Right? That makes a lot of sense. So from the start, you knew basically what the ending was going to be, but you held on to hope. You had hope. And you had it. Anyway, what I loved about this was the innocence. Because I'm used to Hollywood, Elle. Sometimes these movies are just like almost like pornos. Right?
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess. I don't need to see what happens in the bedroom between these two actors in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't really need to see it. Does it ever really add to the plot? Not sure. Think about that.
I don't think so.
No. But the suspense that they had between these characters got built up so much that even when they held hands, you're like, oh, you're swearing. It's like you're witnessing intimacy.
Yeah, because it's what like, it is intimacy.
Yeah, I shouldn't even say it like the porn part. It's the intimacy, private moments between two people who have feelings for each other. You're witnessing it, but all they're doing is holding hands.
And you know what it is? It's the way it's filmed. It's always just like the zoom in on the hands.
And it's the music.
Yeah, the music.
I've had the music stuck in my head, but I don't know a single word.
It's so addictive.
So I'm just going like...
It's so good.
I just sing that in my head over and over again. I don't know what they're saying, but I dig it, Elle.
I love that, like... You know what it is? It's also because, like, we all know that feeling of, like, when a boy first, like, sits next to you or touches you or, like, holds your hand. And I think when you watch those, like, TV shows or movies, that, like, that feeling of when it shows them holding hands, you instantly go back to that time when, like, that happens to you and you feel that bodily sensation of, like, and it's like, oh, boy.
Yeah, there's literally one part of the show where... one of the guys that is in love with her grabs her hand, and then the other guy sees it in the corner of his eye that he grabbed her hand. So he then pulls her in and then just holds her hand. And she's like, like it's so like, oh my God, what do I do? Because they're both holding my hand. And it's so beautifully innocent, and it's such an intimate moment. It's really wonderful. I highly recommend.
You know what I love about them is that, like, without saying so much, it shows you so much of their depth and their emotion. That's what I wanted to see in Priscilla.
Yes, you did not get it.
Did not get it. I wanted to see that, like, it didn't need words, but, like, to show those feelings and that emotion, like.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've only watched the one show so far.
They're all good like that.
But there's so much non-dialogue moments where you're just looking at reactions, the music is playing, and you can you understand what's happening without there being words, basically. Or they have inner dialogue where you can hear what they're thinking.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like, oh, this is fucking amazing.
It just
I need this in my life constantly.
Gives so much character perspective. I love it so much.
Yes.
Honestly, it's not just the one show. I can guarantee, like, almost every single one I've watched has been like that.
Yep.
They've found a system and it works and it's
golden. I can't wait to see more.
Yes.
I really can't.
Excellent.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
That was a very random...
first episode back.
Intro back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty on brand though.
Yeah, standard
stuff. What did we do during our month's breaks?
I told you.
Nothing.
Korean dramas.
Korean dramas? Me watch biopics?
Like, they're hour-long episodes, and there was over 50. I spent 50 hours, and then another 12, mind you. So, like, nearly 65 hours of my life being dedicated to this show. That was the whole time that we were gone.
It's true. And what did I do? Work at Santa jobs again.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, Elle's ho-ho-ho phase is not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I've got a new stim at the moment that is just me casually saying, whenever I'm like sighing outwards, I'm like, ho, ho, ho. And then I go and say Merry Christmas afterwards. And I can't. It's freaking February. Like, why would it go away? I was in the car the other day and I was just like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And my friend's partner looked at me like, the fuck? And I was like,
which one's worse? Ho, 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 or woof?
Woof was a good one. I miss woof. I'm bringing back the woof.
Go back to woof.
Hungry like the
woof. Woof. It makes sense. Mine's more like yikes. I love saying yikes.
Yeah, you do love a yikes.
Yikes. I like to write yikes. Like there's a weird situation, not physically, right? But I mean in messages.
Oh, yikes.
Like if something weird happens, I'm like, yikes.
What was I picturing you like?
Oh, I love to write the word yikes.
Like every time something happens, you just get a scrap piece of paper like yikes in like cursive. Yikes.
That's the only way I can be like, what the to any situation is if I write yikes in a lovely cursive font.
It looks beautiful. I really can visualize it. It looks lovely.
Me too.
It looks lovely.
Yikes, right? It just doesn't match the way you have to say it. It's not like yikes. It's yikes.
Yikes. You always need this like wide smile when you say yikes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yikes.
It's a gulp feeling.
Dude,
That's so good.
thank you.
So wild.
It's my talent.
I love it. Ooh. So, this season, many new things.
I mean, like, kind of not really though. Kind of the same shit.
Hey, you have
Aaron?
CDs behind you
Oh
now.
yeah, I do.
We keep changing the set.
Well, no. I mean, that one wasn't our fault though.
It fell naturally.
You know how I had a bunch of photos behind me? They just fell. They just disappeared.
Yeah,
Well, not really. They went behind the couch, but
it's gone.
just gone.
With like a blink of an eye.
Yeah. So we made these for Elle's birthday. Oh, by the way, Elle's 30 now.
Yeah, so I'm 30 now, 30.
Oh.
It was
How does that feel, by the way?
interesting actually. I know like usually birthdays don't mean anything, you don't feel any different, and I'm not saying I do feel different,
Yeah.
but I definitely feel different. I
You're
feel
feeling
like
the 30.
I feel
Is there more weight?
no, actually I think less.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm feeling less weight and less like I don't know how to explain it. Like I just feel like like I don't have to question like who like I feel like I'm questioning less. And I'm trusting myself a little bit more. I already trusted myself quite well. But, like, I feel like I'm trusting myself to that extra level where I'm like, you know what? Like, at this point in my life, whatever decision I make or whatever decision I don't make is pretty much choosing my life path right now.
Right. Do you feel like that has actually happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah. I feel like the past 3 weeks I have just found it easier to implement boundaries. And, like, I think that it's no longer like, oh, my New Year's resolutions, I'm like working towards them. It kind of feels like everything I've sort of wanted to, like I've known is what I needed to do in my 20s.
Right.
I feel like like it's no longer a question. It's like, well, I've been thinking about this for the last 10 years. Why am I not doing it?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like it's not that the being 30's changed anything. It's the mentality of like, hang on a second. I've done this the last 10 years. Like, and I've wanted this the last 10 years, like, and now this is the end of that 10 years, and now it's like, let's do something with that now. I don't know, I think the mentality has changed. Not because I'm 30, but because of the idea of being 30, it has changed.
Right.
I have more to talk about this. I'm going to write notes. I feel like for the next episode, I have
write notes.
plenty of, like, ideas lately of, like, how the concept of turning 30 has shifted things.
Right.
Yeah, in a positive way, in a really positive way where I feel like I don't feel old either.
Ooh.
Like at all.
That's good.
Although,
I mean, like 30 is still very young in the grand scheme of things.
I know,
though.
but I think in the age of when we grew up, like 30 was like the 50 of back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. As a 10-year-old, you're like, damn, 30's old, but...
Because that's how old your parents were, yeah.
I feel very far away from that mindset, though.
Yeah, I've felt far away from that mindset for a while, but now being at 30, I'm like, oh, wow, it really is no different than being 22.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah. I think I have a different perspective on that, though.
You had a child in between. That's what makes a difference.
Slightly different.
Slightly different.
22 meant no responsibilities for me.
Yeah, where still I got nothing.
Whereas now, a child's life is in my hands.
I can't even moisturize my legs.
I'm shaping the future. Hey, just because I'm taking care of a life doesn't mean I can remember to freaking shave my legs. My knees are constantly got a strip of hair. Why? Why does that happen?
Like a landing strip.
Like a landing right on my knee. It's annoying, Elle.
Actually, to be fair, if these weren't so dry, I'd be able to look at them properly and be like, what the I actually can't get over how fucking disgusting my legs
are. So dry.
Guys, it's fucked. It's actually fucked.
It's fucked.
It's fucked. And I keep showing them off in the fucking camera.
Put them away.
They look
dusty.
They are dusty. Look. It's fucked.
That makes no sense as to why that's happening. It's literally like you haven't looked at your legs in 20 years and there's a layer of dust. There's cobwebs on your legs. It's like those cartoons of those old spinsters when they look in their nether region and there's spider webs.
Oh, stop.
That's what I'm thinking of when I look at your legs. You need to bring those puppies out more. They need some air and life.
I actually never wear shorts. Or like
shorts
here, but I don't wear shorts in the outer world. I always wear pants.
Not that I can. Oh my god, if I lifted up my pant leg right now, you'd all be blind.
How old are we? My pant leg.
We're 30.
You're not 30 yet.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is if I lived... I'm just going to show a bit of ankle. My eyes! What a world. I'm melting. That's what happens when you look at my legs. Just a quick thing before your camera dies, but I was with my grandmother the other day and I wore a singlet, as you see this now, and she looked at my arms and she's like, "You're so white." And I'm like, yeah, I'm not that white. And she's like, "No, you're so white. You are porcelain."
You're not porcelain, but close to it.
Yeah, really, please. It's not that bad. This is my tan from Greece. And she's like, "That's your tan?" Goodness gracious. And I'm like, yeah, please don't do this to me.
It's funny because like our grandmas
Yeah.
are actually quite tanned. Like at least
my ear's white.
but she's not that pale.
That's why she would... No, she's actually white. And I was the same color as her. And she's like, "Why are you that white?" She goes, "For me, it makes sense. I'm never in the sun. But why are you that white?" And I'm like, yeah, don't you remember when I was emo and I was like, I lived like a vampire, never saw the sun, and I looked like Michael Jackson? Like, don't you remember that phase of my life? Well, it ruined me. You see, I am now living a life where people comment nothing about me except for how light my skin is. Well, we might as well end it there.
I'm over here, but so those watching on YouTube, yeah. I'm on the other side of Elle's camera. Yes. But yeah, we might have
Elle's
to
camera died. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's overheating.
But we shall end it there. I will finish my rant about how white my skin is and the fact that my hands are basically translucent. They're almost blue. But anyway, I'll leave you to picture that amongst yourselves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's hear it for 2025. It's going to be a great year. We promise that we won't have the same year that we did last year.
No, last year was a bit of a...
hit and miss, I reckon.
A mumbo jumbo, humble,
loco choco.
Yeah, it was a bit of everything everywhere.
Yeah, you went overseas, then I went overseas, and then you went overseas again, and then I didn't go overseas again.
Yeah, let's be fair. It was a lot of... It was a necessary, like... I think a necessary, like, chill.
Yeah.
And so that we can recoup and, like, bring it.
Yes, bring the passion back for the podcast.
Exactly.
Not that it ever went away.
Yeah, the passion really did not go. But the time we had to put towards it definitely did.
Yes.
And I think, you know, it's a crazy thing for me just before we actually head off, but realizing that with how when you really, really want something in life or something just feels aligned to you, it doesn't matter if you take time away from it, you find your way back to it very, very easily.
Most definitely.
And I found that to be so true. Like anytime I did other projects throughout last year, it made my passion towards coming back to the podcast that much stronger. Because I was just like, I just want to be doing this for the podcast. I don't want to be doing this for anything else.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And not just that, like I'll be talking and I'm like, damn it, this would be good for the podcast. But we were so far away from it that it slipped through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute. All right, let's end it before these people end up dumb.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week, going straight into it. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, woohoo.
Lots of exciting things, I'm sure.
2025 Daydream Believers.
Yeah. Woo! All right, guys. Well, please remember to follow us on all socials / podcast platforms.
Yes.
And to tell a friend about us.
Please tell a friend. Yes. And if you like what you're listening to, please rate us on Spotify or Apple. It would make a great deal of fun.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 would be great,
yes,
man.
Please, we're desperate. Please. It's the only thing I live for in this world, Elle.
You 5 out of 5 us, and we will celebrate. You won't believe how much we'll celebrate. We have a lava lamp. We'll turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
Except
and
broken.
We won't try and break it next time.
So we keep breaking it.
Wah, wah.
Yikes.
Anyway. Alrighty, then. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.